Hey, I'm CNET's Ryan Christ, and sitting here before me is the Neato XV21 robot vacuum. Now, this is a $429 robot vacuum, and that's expensive, but not quite as expensive as the Roomba 880 and the LG HomeBot, which cost a lot more. Now, this isn't the first Neato that we've tested. Last year, I tried out the Neato XV Signature Pro, and then earlier this year, Megan Wallerton tested out the Neato XV Essential. Now, they all look the same except for different paint jobs, and they all operate the same too. They all do well. This is the Neato XV21, and it's a Neato that's supposed to specialize in cleaning up pet hair. Now, design-wise, there's something familiar about the look of this vacuum, something that I like, something that I can't quite put my finger on. I'm sure it's nothing. All the Neatos are very methodical cleaners. They use laser guidance to help map out the room and then navigate through it in rows and columns. This one's no different. It does a great job figuring out where it's going, but I think it's not quite as intelligent as the Neato Signature Pro, which I liked quite a bit. Let's take a look at this video of the rice test we did on a medium pile carpet. Now, we quickly determined that there was a bit of a problem with one of our walls. There was a wide expanse behind it, and the Neatos were getting a little confused and bumping into it while they were doing their column runs. You see this happen in the XV21's run, and it kind of throws it off. It's doing really well, and then it just loses it. It gets a little bit crazy and can't quite figure out where to go. Compare that with the Neato Signature Pro. It has the same problem. It sees too far beyond that wall and can't detect that there's a wall there, and that's not the Neato's fault. But after that happens, it kind of shakes it off, says, give me a second, and then figures out what to do. It finishes the run like normal and is fine. So the Neato Signature Pro seems to be a slightly more intelligent Neato. Compared to the marquee cleaners you'll see from Roomba and LG that cost hundreds of dollars more, I think the Neatos are all good values. The Neatos are not quite as feature-rich. They don't have remote controls, you can't steer them around, but they're still excellent cleaners, and to me, that's what really counts. However, at the bottom of the pricing tier, around $200 to $250, we're starting to see bargain robot vacuums that are performing well enough to justify purchase as a value cleaner. The Infinuvo Hovo 510 that I just reviewed did well enough that I think it's worthy of consideration alongside the Neato. It only cost about $200. So if you're shopping for a robot vacuum and want a value, there might be a cheaper option out there than Neato that would be good enough for your purposes. Overall, the XV21 is a fine robot vacuum. However, it's not quite as smart as the Signature Pro that we tested last year, that black and gray model. If I'm buying a robot vacuum, Neato is going to be at the top of my list, but if I'm buying a Neato, I don't think I'd go with the XV21, simply because the XV Signature Pro for only $20 more is such a better value. For CNET, I'm Ryan Christ.